In this video, we have 1 kilogram of air that's in a piston cylinder assembly, and it undergoes 2 processes in series. So first it starts at P1 is equal to 0.5 megapascal, and T1 is equal to 227 degrees Celsius. Then we undergo a constant temperature expansion until V2 is equal to 2 times V1. So it expands until it's twice its initial volume. Then we have a constant volume heating until the pressure is back to 0.5 megapascal. And we're asked to figure out what P2 is, what T3 is, and the work in heat transfer for each of these processes. So let's start by drawing a PV chart. So my y-axis right here is going to be P. My x-axis right here is going to be V. And I start at some initial pressure, and that's 0.5 megapascal. And I start at some initial volume. I don't know what it is. So we're going to just start right here, and that's my state 1. Now, we undergo a constant temperature expansion until we have twice our volume. So this is V1, and then this right here is going to be V2, which is equal to 2 V1. And it's going to be here. Now, when we draw this line, it actually is going to have some sort of a curve to it. And how do we know it's a curve? Well, we're dealing with air, and air is a gas, so we're going to assume it's ideal gas. And the equation we have for ideal gas is PV is equal to RT. Now, R is a gas constant. State 1 and state 2, it's going to be the same. T is also constant. We're told that we undergo a constant temperature expansion. So this side of the equation from state 1 to state 2 is just equal to some constant value. So we have PV is equal to C. If we want to know what P is, we have P is equal to C over V. And we see this is an equation that has this curved line to it. Okay, and so we know it goes down if we look at it like this. We have P1 V1 is equal to R T1, and then we have P2 V2 is equal to R T2. We already said that these two T's are the same, so that side of the equation is equal to each other. So now we have P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. And, well, we know if V2 goes up, in order to make this equal, P2 must go down. So that's what we have. Okay, now finally, we undergo a constant volume heating until pressure is back to 0.5 megapascal. So we're going to go straight up, constant pressure, until we're back right here at 0.5 megapascal. So that's my PV chart. Now, let's figure out how we get my pressure, P2. Well, we're actually going to use these equations that I was writing out right here. So we know that P1 V1 is equal to RT1, P2 V2 is equal to RT2. We have everything we need, and let's solve this equation for P2. We have P2 is going to be equal to P1 V1 over V2. Well, we know V2 is also equal to 2 V1. So we have P1 V1 over 2 V1. We know the V1s can cancel, and we get this is equal to P over 2. So our initial pressure is 0.5 megapascal. We divide by 2, and we get this is equal to 0.25 MPa. So now let's use the ideal gas law to figure out what T3 is equal to. We already have P1 V1 is equal to RT1, P2 V2 is equal to RT2. We can also bring in P3 V3 is equal to RT3. All right, so let's start with that. So we have P3 V3 is equal to RT3. And, well, we're told that V3 and V2, well, we know that V3 and V2 are the same because it's a constant volume process. So this is really P3 V2 is equal to RT3. Well, it turns out that if we look at P2 V2 is equal to RT2, well, we can rearrange this and we can get that P2 over T2 is equal to R over V2. We can arrange this equation and get P3 over T3 is equal to R over V2, and this part of the equation and this are exactly the same. So now we can equate these two together and we can get P3 over T3 is equal to P2 over T2, and we can solve for what T3 is. So T3 is going to be equal to P3 T2 over P2. So let's put in our actual numbers. P3 is 0.5. T2 is equal to, what is it? T2 is equal to T1, which is 227 degrees Celsius. 227 degrees Celsius is equal to 500 Kelvin. And when we're using ideal gas law, we want to use absolute temperature, pressure. So this is times 500 divided by P2. And P2 is going to be this, we found it, 0.25. So what we get is that 0.5 times 500 divided by 0.25. T3 is going to be equal to 1000 Kelvin. So now that we figured out what T3 is and what P2 is, let's go ahead and figure out the work and heat for process 1 to 2. And to do that, we're going to use our mass balance equation, our energy balance for a closed system equation. So we're going to have change in energy is going to be equal to the heat transfer minus my work. And we're going to neglect potential and kinetic effects. So change in energy just simplifies down to change in U is equal to Q minus W. And we're going to get that M times, well, this is process 1 to 2. So we're going to have U2 minus U1 is equal to Q minus W. Okay? Well, we need to figure out what U2 is, we need to figure out what U1 is, and we need to figure out what my work is. So let's look at the definition for work that we have. We have work is equal to the integral from V2 to V1, and this is my total volume, times P dV. Okay, well, for pressure, we know we have the ideal gas model, and we can do this in terms of total volume. We can say P V is equal to mRT. That's an equivalent expression, right? We substituted that V is equal to V over M into this equation. And now we just want to solve for P. So we get P is equal to mRT over V. From process 1 to 2, all of this is constant, so it can come outside of the integral. So we'll get work is equal to mRT times the integral of 1 over V dV. So we can take this integral, and we can get that this is equal to mRT times the natural log of V2, oops, forgot that over here, V2, V1, so V2 over V1, and we know all of these pieces of information. We know that M is equal to 1. We know that R, well, we have to figure out what R is. So we'll do that by looking at a chart. So R is going to be our universal gas constant of 8.314 kilojoules per kilomole Kelvin. And then we have to divide it by what our molar weight is, which is 28.97 kilograms per kilomole. So now we have that. That's R. We know what my temperature is. My temperature is 500 K. And we just need V2 and V1. We know that it's the natural log of V2, which is just 2 V1 over V1. V1's cancel, so it's just the natural log of 2. So let's calculate this. We get that my work is equal to 99.5 kilojoules. So I don't want to lose this right now. Okay, so we figured out what our work is. And what it turns out is that, remember, we're dealing with an ideal gas. So we know that U is going to be a function of temperature. So we're going to have U2 at temperature 2 minus U1 at temperature 1. And this is equal to Q minus W. Well, our temperature doesn't change. So these are just going to cancel out with each other. We do have a mass, but our mass is 1. And we're going to get that Q is equal to W. So Q and W are going to be equal to 99.5 kilojoules. And again, that's because when we look up what U2 is, that's because since we're dealing with an ideal gas, our internal energy is a function of our temperature, and our temperature does not change. So U2 and U1 are going to be the same temperature since T2 is equal to T1. So they'll cancel out and be equal to 0. All right, so now let's look at the work and heat for 2 to 3. We're going to use the same equation and the same assumption that our potential and kinetic energy can be ignored. So delta U is equal to Q minus W. All right, so now we're going to have M times U3 minus U2. And I'm going to put them as a function of temperature right now. So U3, so this will be T3 minus U2, which will be T2. And then this will be equal to Q minus W, but it's a constant volume process. Since it's a constant volume process, W is going to go to 0, and Q is just going to be equal to Q is equal to M, which is 1. So 1 kilogram. It's important for units because when we look this up in a table, and we can go to table A22, when we look this up in a table, we get that, well, I had written on top of it, but at T3 we said is 1000 Kelvin. 1000 Kelvin, U has a value of 758.94. So this is 758.94, and now we're in kilojoules per kilogram. You can see why the kilogram right here is important, so it can cancel out with that unit. And then we subtract U2. So T2 is this 500 Kelvin. So we go to 500 Kelvin. We look at this U, so minus 359.49 kilojoules per Kelvin. And we just need to solve this. So it's going to be equal to 399.5 kilojoules. So that's Q. And right here we said W 2 to 3 is 0 because it's a constant volume pressure. So hopefully this video has helped you understand how you can use ideal gas laws to solve closed system energy balance problems.